Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a topic today that honestly hits pretty close to home for a lot of us. We're going to look at the psychology behind the chronic habit of hiding our emotional pain. Wearing that I'm fine mask. Let's unpack exactly why we do this and how the research says we can finally start to let that heavy armor go. It's a safe space here, so let's just get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever answered, "I'm fine," when someone asks how you are? Literally on autopilot? You could be standing in the pouring rain with a flat tire, or your heart could be absolutely shattering, and yet the words, "I'm fine," just tumble right out of your mouth. It's a total reflex. We've all been there, right? But for some of us, it isn't just an occasional thing. It's an exhausting daily routine.
There is so often this crazy stark contrast between the outside and the inside. On the outside, you're smiling, you're showing up to work, you're getting things done. To everyone else, you look like you're totally crushing it, just holding it all together. But on the inside, man, you are exhausted. You might feel completely numb or quietly overwhelmed in ways you don't even have the words for yet. That visceral disconnect, it's like a heavy weight you're carrying everywhere you go.
Now, if that deep, heavy disconnect sounds familiar to you, I just want you to take a deep breath. You are not broken, you are human. It's so easy to feel like there's something fundamentally wrong with you when your internal world doesn't match your external actions. But feeling this way doesn't mean you're flawed in any way. It just means you're reacting to the weight of your experiences. So let's look at the psychology behind why this happens. From a psychological standpoint, this pretending isn't a lie. It's actually a learned coping strategy. It's this brilliant, albeit completely exhausting, nervous system defense mechanism used for survival and protection. So you aren't being deceitful at all. Your brain is actively trying to protect you from further harm. You can absolutely let go of any guilt you might be holding on to for faking it because your mind is literally just doing what it thinks it needs to do to survive. So why do we do it? Why does it feel so much safer to just pretend? Well, psychologists point out that for many people, especially if you had to be the strong one growing up, being okay actually becomes a role you play rather than a feeling you have. You learn early on that emotions slow things down. You learn that your vulnerability might make other people uncomfortable. And if your feelings were dismissed in the past, your brain learns a very specific lesson. Showing how I really feel just isn't safe. Being low maintenance keeps you safe. And this brilliantly illustrates how the nervous system adapts to those lessons over time. Your brain actually stops asking step one, how do I feel? It completely bypasses your emotional state altogether. Instead, it jumps straight to step two, what do I need to do to get through today? Your brain basically turns off the emotional radar and goes into pure functional survival mode. You put on a version of yourself that functions perfectly, even if that version doesn't feel alive at all. This brings us to what psychologists call the illusion of resilience. When you're stuck in survival mode, your behaviors change drastically. Instead of expressing your sadness, you intellectualize it. Instead of asking for support, you just handle it yourself. Instead of resting, you push right through the fatigue. From the outside, this looks like incredible strength and resilience. People might even praise you for it. But from the inside, it feels like you're carrying a crushing, invisible weight that literally no one else can see. Now, pretending once in a while isn't really the issue. The real danger happens when pretending becomes your default setting. Because here's the reality. Emotions do not disappear just because you ignore them. No way. They just go quiet and they wait. They set up camp in your body and your subconscious, just waiting for the perfect moment to demand your attention. And when those quiet emotions finally surface, they create a very specific kind of fallout. See if any of these symptoms resonate with you as kind of a checklist. Do you experience sudden emotional crashes the second you're finally alone in your room or your car? Do you feel intense irritability over tiny, seemingly insignificant things? Do you feel strangely disconnected from the friends and family who actually care about you? Or maybe you just feel like you don't even know what you actually feel anymore. That right there is the hidden cost of constant masking. When you're in the thick of this burnout, you might tell yourself things like, well, other people have it worse, or I don't want to be a burden. But minimizing your pain doesn't make it lighter. It just makes it lonelier. Comparing your pain to someone else's doesn't erase yours. It just isolates you. It traps you completely alone with a heavy burden that you refuse to let anyone else help you carry. So the crucial point is, how do we actually start taking this mask off based on these insights? Well, it starts really small. Step one, just admit to yourself that you are not okay today and remind yourself that it's actually allowed. Step two, try swapping out "I'm fine" for something slightly more honest, like "I'm a bit overwhelmed right now." And step three, Practice just sitting with your feelings for a minute without immediately trying to fix them or make them disappear. Look, being real doesn't mean you have to suddenly overshare and tell everyone everything about your life. Not at all. Sometimes the bravest thing isn't opening up to others, it's stopping the performance when you're by yourself. It's dropping the act the second you close your bedroom door. It is giving yourself the permission to just be a total mess for a minute in your own private, safe space. And this brings us to the core foundation of everything we're exploring today. You do not have to be okay to be worthy. We live in a society that constantly equates productivity and relentless positivity with human value. But your worth is absolute. It's not tied to your utility, it's not tied to how well you can hide your pain, and it is certainly not tied to how okay you appear to the rest of the world. Let's summarize the real truth behind the mask here. You do not owe the world constant strength. You do not have to be okay to be lovable. And you do not need a good reason to feel the exact way you do right now. If you've been pretending to be okay for a very long time, I really want you to be gentle with yourself. That past version of you was just doing everything it could to survive. But now we have to look toward the future. Are you ready to allow yourself to do more than just get through the day? You have survived, but maybe, just maybe, it's time to take off the heavy armor, step out of survival mode, and start actually living again. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. And remember, it is absolutely okay to not be okay. Take care of yourselves out there.